Welcome to the Nonprofit Exchange. Stories by leaders for leaders to help you to raise the bar on your own performance and to release the potential inside of you. Now, here's today's episode. Greetings, everyone. This is Hugh Ballou, and my guest is dear friend Bob Hopkins for this week's episode of the Nonprofit Exchange. We're going to talk about a current event, something we don't ordinarily do in the Nonprofit Exchange, but something that's very timely in October 2021. However, we've been doing this before, and it's an ongoing initiative, and it's giving youth a chance to step up. And actually, what I've seen is the youth influence adults in their lives in a profound way. So, Bob Hopkins, tell us about the PAVE program and ultimately the Youth in Philanthropy Conference that's going to be held in October.
Thank you, Hugh. I'm glad to be here today. As always, being with you, we create miracles together, and I love that. So anyway, PAVE, Philanthropy and Volunteerism in Education, Change to Entrepreneurship. Hugh, I have been heading up nonprofit organizations for 20 years. And one of the things that I realize is that board members who are adults don't know how to lead boards. They don't know how to raise money. They don't know what was expected of them. They don't know how long they're going to be. They don't know what is their responsibility. So I decided a long time ago, like in 1997, that kids who learn the fastest and who will keep the information the longest under the age of 12 need to hear the information basically about the who, what, where, when, why of being on a board of directors. So thus we created a PAVE, the PAVE program. And so that's when it started, and it's such a success, and it's a great leadership training opportunity for these young kids.
So you started with some kids that were pretty young. And do you want to do some examples of some of the youth that started very young and they've gone on to make some impact in the world?
Right. I think I started this in 1997, 96, something like that. And of course, you know the name Amit Banerjee, and he is one of my stars. In fact, he happens to be the chairman of my board, which is philanthropykids.org. And he was in my class when he was in 4th grade and then 5th grade. 8-week classes or 8-week courses. Every Wednesday, I would come in with a group of philanthropists, and we would teach children how to do all kinds of things like shake hands and look people in the eyes when they talk. And then what is a philanthropy? And the philanthropist sits up tall, stands tall, keeps their hands to themselves, and except when they want to shake hands with somebody. And of course, we're not shaking hands these days. We're doing this, I think, whatever, but it doesn't matter. Greetings are very, very important. Behavior is very important. Oh, behavior. This is a behavior changing experience for these kids. And so, you know what? I love it. I want the world to do it. And I am so excited to be working with you so that we can tell people about the program. And then people will get the idea, and maybe they'll want to do it in their community.
Yes. So we did this Youth in Philanthropy conference a while back. Maybe it was a year ago, a little over a year ago, and we had some kids from all over the world. Now, what was interesting about that conference is usually we think of young people being the technology people, but we had, with your brilliance, these leaders that had been under your tutorage leading this conference. And the old guy here was the technology guy, which was kind of a role reversal, but it made a lot of sense because I knew how to do this, but they had a story to tell. Why was it important for these young people who had been in your program for 10 years or more and had done great things? Why was it important for youth to be leading this youth conference?
Well, Hugh, while you're very handsome, and of course so am I, they don't want to see a bunch of old people on the screen leading them. Hugh, I'm sorry to say, but they love to have college students do it because college students are still young enough that they can identify with. And I'm not saying that we're not the role models, because we are, but I am saying that it's great to have some of these young kids, young 20, 22, 25, 30 years old, working with these kids and telling them how to shake hands. For some reason, I guess it doesn't matter who's the giver here with the information. The matter is that these kids took hold, took responsibility, and then started teaching other kids how to do this because they somehow are empowered with this thing called philanthropy. It's a magic word.
Philanthropy is misunderstood, and I'm going to hold up your book here. You can go to philanthropymisunderstood.org, philanthropymisunderstood.org, and you have one of the leaders here on the cover. Here he is, Amit Banerjee, who was one of the leaders, and he's the one you just referred to, who's the leader of your philanthropykids.org nonprofit. So he was sort of the presider. But you had a couple of sisters that started when they were young children that really impacted people in countries who didn't have water. Want to say a little bit about their story?
Right. Well, if you're talking about the Paper for Water kids, were in my class when they were 5 and 7 years old. Daddy was a Japanese person who already knew origamis, was teaching his kids how to do origamis and folding them and then selling them. We, through our program, PAVE, got these girls and instilled in them more of a desire to become philanthropists, which means do something good for somebody else. So they would sell these origamis. They would sell about $100 a piece or something like that. Neiman Marcus got a hold of it. Good Morning America got a hold of it, these ideas that we were doing. And you know, they have raised $1.78 million. They have created 170 water wells in 17 different countries. And we all know that for a fact because Daddy took them out of school for 8 months and the family traveled the world seeing their water wells. And we've got movies and pictures of it and happening. And children being able to drink water without having to go to the stream and get some sort of a disease because they're drinking water right out of the ground. You know, I mean, not out of the ground, out of the stream. So yeah, it's changed everything for them because you know what it's instilled in these girls? Responsibility. These kids are amazing. The oldest one is now 17. Next year, she goes to college. And the second one is 16, and she's going to be a junior in high school. And so they're still what? They're still folding paper, but they've also gotten their churches to do it. They've gotten their schools to do it. And they've gotten even me to come by and help fold these things. In fact, they're celebrating 10 years on the 16th, which is this coming Saturday.
Well, philanthropists have money and it's all about money. So how do people without money do this?
Well, quite frankly, we've been doing it forever without money. We've been helping people across the street without money. We've been taking groceries to trailer parks without money. You know, everybody bring a couple of cans out of your cupboard. Let's get them all together. And we got 200 cans of food and we take it to 2 or 3 families for Thanksgiving. That's not money. That's something left over in the cupboard. I mean, those are just 2 small examples. What about picking up trash? What about picking up a woman who falls on the sidewalk, which happened outside my house not too long ago? I stopped my car, got out of the car, went and helped this woman, took her home in my car. Who would have done that? Probably anybody, but anybody who cares about others would have stopped and done the same thing that I did. It didn't take me any money. It took me a little bit of time. But boy, howdy, was it joyful when she thanked me so much because I helped her up and I helped, you know, dry off her bloody knees, for God's sake. She was 85 years old, older than you, older than me.
That's pretty old.
What I'm thinking.
Yeah. So what you've helped me realize, now I've been doing this leadership thing for a long time and I interview leaders and we talk about some astounding things. And you said, Hugh, I forgot how long ago it was, but it was noticeable event in my life. You said, Hugh, nobody talks about philanthropy being an essential part of leadership. Say more about that, would you?
You know, everybody that I know, Hugh, who is a leader, does philanthropy. They just do it. They take care of their community. That's part of their ingredient. But I just got a book somebody just wrote recently, 300 words that describe what leadership is, and not anything even connected close to giving back or benevolence or generosity. It was words like being smart and being intelligent and being trustworthy and all those kinds of things, which were really great words. But what happened to the word philanthropy? What happened to all those words? And you know what? I hate to tell you this, but I just run around with people who do philanthropy stuff. You know why? Because they're the movers and the shakers in my community. They're the movers and the shakers, even in my family. In my family, we have people who do, and some people who just decide not to for whatever reason. And the ones who are doing are the ones who are really successful. They're not only happier, but they make more money. I don't know. The more you give, the more you get. That even can be money. Yes. And I just have seen the results. And I watched these children change over time, like Amit. You know, I had him when he was 10. Then they called me when he was 14 and said, we want to do an Eagle Scout project. Bob, Amit wants to do something in philanthropy. Would you help us? We sat down. He created a magazine called Philanthropy Kids. The name of his organization is now Philanthropy Kids, and this is 7 years later. And he's graduated from college with honors in double major, smart, intuitive, and on boards in Dallas, Texas, directing nonprofit organizations, including our own.
That's quite a story. Now, one of the myths people tell themselves is that the youth are the future of our country, when in fact, you've proven that not to be entirely correct. Youth are the current influence. So leadership in my world is about influence, not about power. So if you put it in that context, the kids that you work with, whether they're in community college, whether they're elementary age or whatever, what you've done is impact them to embrace philanthropy as an essential part of leadership. And with those stories you just shared with us, those kids are now, they're today's leaders. They're going to be, of course, the future leaders, but they're today's leaders, and they've already made significant impact. So any comment on that perspective?
Yeah, well, I pay attention and what's going on in the world, and I see that this young lady from Norway or Sweden, whatever, is up for a Nobel Peace Prize because that she's decided to take our feet to the fire and decide that she needs to do something about climate change. And I don't remember what her name is exactly, but she's on TV, it seems, a lot. And she's a leader. She's a young 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid who's in front of the United Nations telling them what they should do. And you know what? They're listening. Now, she's not the only one. There have been several. There's a girl from India or from Pakistan who decided that she wanted to go to school as a girl. And she got shot in the face because she was going to school. And she got well, and she's back on the bandwagon saying girls need to go to school. Hugh, that's philanthropy. That is stepping forward and doing the right thing to make things better for somebody else. That's as simple as it is.
It's not me, it's somebody else. I think that what jumped out at me, what you just said, is how do we impact other people's lives? And is it beneficial for everyone? I'm part of Rotary, and we say every week, is it beneficial to all concerned? And so that's a worldwide organization that does philanthropy. And we host this podcast and TV show on the Nonprofit Exchange, in which you helped me realize that what I'm doing in CenterVision, because I don't take a salary, actually pay to be here, is a form of philanthropy, because we're impacting other lives. And you've been a very gracious supporter of CenterVision, but you've also been involved in our community discussions with leaders who are trying to find their way. So you're exercising your influence in philanthropy with leaders who are emerging, who are mostly older than that, but there are quite a few different ages in there. So you've helped me get a new perspective on leadership. So we're talking this month about a Youth and Philanthropy Conference, and the link is youthphilanthropyconference.live, L-I-V-E, because it's going to be live on Zoom. And we've had kids from, I think, over the two former events, 12 countries come in, and there've been some kids with astounding ideas. And the first time I was blown away with the idea. So youthphilanthropyconference.live. So why should people want to even offer this to their children or grandchildren?
Well, if they're smart and they listen to us, they'll realize that they're going to have happier grandchildren. It's happiness. Hugh, the reason I don't like it taking money for it is because I don't need it. I don't need money. I receive joy, lots of joy. That's why I keep coming back and doing this over and over and over again. I have better things to do. No, I don't. I don't have anything better to do than to be happy doing good things for other people. And children realize the same thing. They want more of it. It's addictive. You know what? It's an addiction, but it's a good addiction. It's a positive addiction because people love helping people once they understand that they get a pat from the back, or they get a okay from God, or somebody says, thank you so much. And they get a little note and it says, thank you for what you do.
Here's a couple of perspectives that I will throw out and you comment on for now, especially younger kids. You know, they register and that's per screen because we have some parents that want to be there with the 7, 8, 9-year-olds. Now, teenagers usually don't want their parents there, so they're on their own screens, but it doesn't matter. You know, people register for a screen and they can certainly share it. And we don't want anybody to miss out because they don't have the few dollars. It's a very low registration fee. And we don't want anybody to miss out. So there's an email on the page that they can send you an email. If they just cannot afford it, you'll make a way for them to register and you'll ask them to do some act of philanthropy as a form of payment, which costs them nothing, but to come to the event with possibility thinking, as I'm guessing. So far, am I on track with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, we're only charging something, Hugh, because sometimes people will take it more seriously if there's a cost involved. Sometimes they will actually be sure and come if there's a cost involved. If you don't pay, you think, okay, it doesn't matter anyway, I don't need to go. But if you pay something, so anyway, if they can't pay, though, we will pay. I've got lots of people out here who want to pay for other people to come to this event.
What they don't know, and it's a secret, so don't tell anybody, is that we're going to tell people at the conference that they're going to get a program from CenterVision that's worth 5 times to 10 times what they paid, depending on the price level. It's $10 for young children, and for the ones over 13, it's $20.21 just to match the year. But they're going to get $100 worth of free stuff that they can study only if they want to. So they get a choice of stuff. So they actually get a bonus for attending that they can continue their learning and their personal development. So part of what kids are going to expect is to learn the true definition of philanthropy. Would you comment on what that's going to look like?
Right. You know, I just get tired of people saying I can't do this because I don't have any money. When I win the lottery, I'm going to do it. And I say, you don't have to win the lottery to do the things that I've got in mind for you, which is going to take you a minute or two or a day or two, just depending on what you want to do, you know, kind of a thing. I try to do something every day just to pat myself on the back, and it doesn't cost me anything, but you know, it puts a smile on my face. I have students who they come into my class and I say, where are you in a scale from 1 to 10? And they'll say a 5, a 4, a 8, a 9. Everybody who is 5 and under has to stand up. And everybody in the classroom knows the drill. We do philanthropy. You look so pretty today, Alicia. I like your hair, Alicia. Alicia, those shoes are so cute on you. Alicia, thank you so much for everything that you do for our school. And then we say, Alicia, where are you right now on that scale? And she says a 10. And so she gets to sit down. Hugh, that's philanthropy, saying good things to other people. So that's the drill. Philanthropy is a drill.
So we've scheduled the activities in both these conferences with short modules. We have a short presentation on a concept. We'll have a panel discussion with questions that come up in the group, or how do we address this and make it practical. And then we have breakout sessions where the participants can actually submit ideas and brainstorm with other kids. So what I found is that these young people now think in possibility, like we said earlier, but now they know I can actually do something. So it's the fact that they can step up with an idea and they can influence the adults around them, including their parents. So we've got the short modules so that even when the adults that attend don't get bored. So any comments on how this empowerment thing plays out.
Right. The last time we got together, we had two little girls from Arizona who met online in this deal. They met online in our Youth in Philanthropy. They decided they wanted to raise money or food for dogs at the local pet stores, not the pet stores, but the local ASPCAs. And so they did. They put signs in their yard, one in one city and one in another city. And then they got back online again and they said, how many pounds of food did you get? How many pounds of food did you get? And it said, for dogs at ASPCA, please leave dog food here. And they even said what kind of dog food they wanted. That's two girls working together, being part of this, empowering each other in doing a conference. And they're going to come and talk about it at Saturday when we have this happen on October the 30th. This started last summer and they've been doing it together. And then they met and then they play together and then they see each other. Now their parents are friends.
Well, Youth Philanthropy Conference is happening when we're recording this in October, on the 30th of October, at 10 o'clock in the morning, USA Eastern Time. That's -4 Greenwich Mean Time. And that's for the group at 7 to 12. And then at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we have a group that's going to be the older group, 12 and up. And that can be found on the page Youth Philanthropy Conference.live. And that page gives you all the details. And there's Bob's email there, so you can send Bob a note if you have a question. And on that page, you'll learn about what we're going to do. And then once you register, you'll get the link and it'll be on Zoom. So people anywhere, as long as they've got access on a computer or a tablet or a phone, can log in and be part of the conversation. This is a conference that you don't want to miss, because the generation today is responsible for our planet, for our people, and they're taking it seriously. And we're giving them the tools to think creatively, and we're letting their parents know that, hey, this is a track you can learn from as well. So Bob, any final notes you want to add to why people should come? They can go to youthphilanthropyconference.live and find out all about it, but any more that you want to add to this?
Well, only a few, since you and I have been online and talking to people about this. And we've definitely talked about it on C-Suite, which is something that you and I both belong to. One of the ladies there, called Grandma Sparky, has donated 60 ribbons that say, "You make a difference," that we're going to be able to send to each of the kids who actually come to our event. And we're going to online show the kids how this works. We're going to pin the ribbon on them and say, "You make a difference." And that's one of the best gifts that a person can ever receive. And so the gifts that persons receive from this are amazing. And it's joy, happiness, that you have become a change maker.
Bob Hopkins, this is your vision. I'm glad to partner with you with the technology and the delivery of it. So you have influenced generations of Americans, and you continue creating influence. That's influencers now influence other. Actually, you're an agent for transformation. And what I know from the words of Richard Rohr is transformed people transform people. So really, we're in the transformation business, and nonprofit's kind of a strange word, but in this social benefit sector, it's for-purpose work. And you're helping raise the bar all over the world, but we can do it at home just as well as we can do it everywhere else. So October 30, starting at 10 o'clock Eastern time in the morning, whatever that is in your time zone, it's -4 Greenwich Mean Time. And you can put that in and find out what time it is where you live, because this is a worldwide audience, and I'm amazed how many people come. So what's your parting thought that you want to leave people with?
That some people make a difference. Some people watch people making a difference. And some people say, "What happened?" And we want our leaders, our kids, to be the ones that make things happen and make a difference.
Well spoken. Bob Hopkins, author, nonprofit leader, philanthropist, thought leader. You've influenced so many people, including Hugh Ballou. You never too old to learn, I might add to that. Thank you for being our guest today. And we invite you to share this message about Youth Philanthropy Conference.live. Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you for watching the Nonprofit Exchange.